On this screen, you will see a map of your CA or ULO stores. The map is based on a real-life situation of your storage facilities. With your finger, you move the screen up and down. It is also possible to use the arrows. Zooming in and out is done by moving this beam up or down. I will now walk you through different parts of the overview screen. We start on the bottom of the screen. On the left you will find two lights for the controller core and the data core. These lights are green when the system works correctly. Next to the lights, you can find the time, the date and the software's version number. This is important in the communication with your supplier. In the end, you can see the initials of the person who logged in and our project number or acronym. Machines and electronic cabinets are shown with these icons. The icons are based on the real-life situation of the machines and cabinets. This icon with one circle symbolizes the CO2 scrubber, the machine that removes the CO2 from your cold stores. This icon with the two circles symbolizes a PSA or VPSA nitrogen generator. This machine produces nitrogen and lowers the oxygen in your cold stores. This icon symbolizes the control cabinet, and this icon represents the cooling system. The machines will also be shown by a letter and a serial number. For example, the S1 represents the CO2 scrubber number 1. The color of the icon shows the status of the machine. Gray means not active, blue means active but not in operation, green means active and in operation, orange means notification, machine requires your attention, and red means alarm, view and resolve the alarm as soon as possible. Alright. Now we will continue with the cold stores. On top of the screen, you will find the cold store name as you use it. The cold store could be a name or a number, depending on your personal preferences. Below the store number, you will find the product, which is entered for this cold store, followed by a slash and the mode the store is currently in. The system of products and modes is entirely new in this control system and is meant to strongly enlarge the user-friendliness of the system. The product is selected in the settings menu. In the overview you can also see which cold store contains which product. The modes can also be selected in the settings menu. For further explanation on this system, we would recommend watching the Settings, Products and Modes movie. Just like with the machines in the overview, the cold stores also have a color indication to show what happens or what the status is. Oxygen is shown by an O2, carbon dioxide is shown by CO2, ethylene is of course ethylene, and temperature is shown with a T. For every parameter, the set value, shown as TV or target value, is shown. The measured value is shown as MV or measured value. If one of the measured values is higher than the set maximum value, the measured value will be shown in red. If the measured values are lower than the set minimum, they will be shown in blue. Only the parameters that are applicable and thus configured are shown. If values are shown in red or blue, it is wise to check and change settings as soon as possible. Fast action is necessary. Go to Overview and take action. Next to the set values and measured values in a cold store are some icons that can also change color. These icons are usually blue or gray. Gray when the function is configured but not active. Blue when the function is active but not operational at the moment. Next to the oxygen and carbon dioxide values, you can find two icons. The arrow pointing outwards means that the specified gas is being removed, The arrow pointing inwards means that the specified gas is being added to the cold store. The icons change color from blue to green when they become active. This icon means that the oxygen in a cold store is being forced out by adding nitrogen. It means that the nitrogen generator that is connected to the cold store has become green. This icon means that the cold store is being aerated. It usually happens through aeration fans on the roof of the cold store, but in case of an auto-ULO system, it can also be done by the CO2 scrubber. This icon means that the CO2 scrubber that is connected to the cold store is active. Now we will move on to the icons for the refrigeration. These icons will only show if your migrate system controls your refrigeration system. This icon shows when the evaporator connected to the cold store is in defrosting mode. This icon shows whether the ventilation for the cold store is active or not. And this icon shows whether the refrigeration for this cold store is active or not. Now we move on to the right side of the screen, to the tabs. Depending on the user's rights, the tabs are active and white, or inactive and grey. By selecting a tab on the right, the associated screen will be opened and the tab changes from white to blue. Let's take a look at all the different tabs. Here, you or another user can log on or off. Depending on the authorization level, modules are enabled or disabled. Here, as overview, you can see all the actual modes, running processes and required data on the cold stores and machines. If you click this tab, the registration of your system will be shown. For example, the historical measuring data and actions of your machines. This can be shown in a graph or a table. The Running Times tab shows how often and how long a certain action has taken place. The tab Alarms shows actual and registered alarms and notifications. In this tab, alarms can be disabled. In the movie Registration, Running Time and Alarms, this will be elaborated. The tab Settings is meant for advanced users and therefore not able for every user. Settings for cold stores, modes and machines can be altered here. The movie Settings, Products and Modes will show you more information on this tab. Here, you can find or prepare reports on the actual and registered data of the cold stores. The Configuration tab is not able for regular users. The Configuration tab is meant for distributors of MyFruit. In the configuration, system and parameters are submitted. These parameters are set in the Van Amerongen factory. We will now get back to the goal of this movie, which was to explain the Overview tab. If you click on a machine or a cold store, it will zoom in and center it to the top left corner. This arrow on the bottom left of your screen brings you back to the overview. If, however, you click on the machine or cold store one more time, you will enter a deeper layer of the overview. Here, you will find the status of the processes and the most recent data registration and alarms. For a complete registration or an overview of the alarms, you can visit the associated tab. On the top of the screen, between the two arrows, you can scroll through the different machines or cold stores. For every process status that is shown on this page, the elapsed time will be shown, and, if necessary, the remaining time. The shown alarms are red or yellow. Red alarms are recent alarms. Yellow ones are confirmed alarms. In the bottom left corner of the screen, you will find 3 icons that turn blue if you click them. By clicking this icon, you initiate an extra scrubbing action in the cold store. This will not be executed immediately, but it will be added to a waiting line. The waiting line is shown if you double-click the icon for the CO2 scrubber. By clicking the next icon, you will manually initiate an extra defrosting action. And by clicking this last icon, you manually initiate an extra O2 and CO2 measurement. This may be necessary if you doubt the initial measurement, or if you just want to know the actual values. It is, however, recommended to measure the values with a hand meter at least twice a week. This will ensure proper conditioning.